Okay, so look, we're talking today about, I wanted to spend some time with you, make sure my audience knows Kevin Harrington, not just from TV, but also what you're doing today, how you're helping businesses and entrepreneurs today, what you see going on in the marketplace, and what you're going to be bringing to the 10X GrowthCon. And so, dude,
Okay.
I really appreciate your time.
You bet, man.
Appreciate your energy.
I'm ready.
Appreciate all the mistakes you've made in your life so that you can help me know which potholes to avoid.
Absolutely.
This dude, Kevin Harrington, successful entrepreneur for 40 years. I'm sure he's going through his ups and downs like all of us. Original shark on ABC, hit Emmy-winning TV show Shark Tank. Inventor of the Infomercial. This guy's a pioneer, always has been a pioneer, super successful. He's launched over 20 businesses, $100 million look, he's everywhere. Wall Street Journal, New York Times, USA Today. Dude, what's it like to get that kind of freaking intro, huh?
Hey, my mother couldn't have written it any better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, hey, great to have you, man. I appreciate it. What are you up to? What you're in St. Pete today, right?
St. Pete today. Yeah, I'm I travel about 15 days a month. So, but I always got to come back and get grounded back home, you can do the deals, but you got to execute the deals too, right?
Right. That's right. So yeah. Kevin, let me ask you, with your schedule the way it is, man, like why did you agree, number one, to even do this 10X Growth Conference with me?
Well, first of all, I'll say this. It's out of the 100+ deals that I do a year, this is one of probably only 3 that I'm doing where I'm doing it because of you. All right. I mean, and that's because I know, first of all, you're an amazing marketer. And, to be honest with you, I do deals. I get paid to go places. Okay.
Yeah.
And you called and said, would I do this as a friend? And I said, absolutely, and because first of all, I know it's going to be powerful, and I know that the people there need what you're going to say, and they need what I am going to say too. And so I love to give great content to people that are really looking to have a great day. So when I come in there, that's my goal is to give your people the best content that I can, because I'm there to support you. And hey, look, if there's some entrepreneurs that need some help and they may need to talk to me, that's fine too. But that's secondary for me, in all honesty, because I'm there to support you and help those entrepreneurs that are there to learn.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, I'm not paying Kevin to do this deal. He's coming down on his own dime, his own time, and his time is very valuable. He's probably sitting here thinking, why am I doing this for nothing? But he knows why, and he's telling you why right now, because not everything is about just the exchange of money. It's also about connections and collaboration. And the one thing I did promise Kevin was the best audience that he's ever spoken to.
Yes.
And so these people are coming from all over the world, Kevin, to see you, brother.
Well, that's fantastic. And so I know it's going to be a great crowd.
Yeah.
And, if at the end of the day, if there's some people that come to me and say, you know what, I have something that you might like, that's fine. That might happen. But, I just know that when Grant Cardone talks, people listen. Okay.
Dude, that's awesome, man. I really appreciate you saying that. So, Hey, what are you going to be bringing? What are you going to be bringing to the audience? I mean, what is going to be your core message to these 2,000 entrepreneurs?
Okay. So the first thing, because I think you got me coming in for about an hour to speak, right?
Yeah.
So I always got to tell a little bit of the story. People want to know, because when I get stopped, like on an airplane, or, the other day, the pilot, when I was leaving, said, hey, I'll sell you the plane for $100,000 for 10%. I'm like, okay, you watch Shark Tank, I can tell, right?
Yeah.
I got, a police officer was chasing me in Newark Airport 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, what the hell did I do wrong? And he's like, Shark Tank, so I get pitched and I get this and that. But people say, hey, how did you start? Right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my early days. I was very fortunate, Grant. My father was an entrepreneur. He was my mentor. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to give you, the rags to riches thing. My father didn't have a lot of money, and I had to pay my way through high school and college and all of that. But he was an entrepreneur that wanted me to be an entrepreneur, and I had some great advice. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to tell some stories about, everyone wants to hear a little bit about Shark Tank. They want to know about Mr. Wonderful, and I know Daymond's coming later in the day, but I talk about a couple stories about Barbara and Daymond and all, and I'll show a couple clips, but ultimately, then I'm going to talk about some of the mistakes I've made. Yeah. Okay. I mean, for example, when I first started my first company, I said, I want to control everything. I want to own it all. I built my own fulfillment center, 80,000 square feet. I built my own media company. We had 40, 50 people inside that. I built my own customer service center with 100 employees. I had my own studio, 35,000 square foot studio. It's like I had this power play in my mind that I wanted to be this, this big successful kahuna in the business. And guess what? Sometimes you go through these phases where, having people and having lots of studios and cameras and edit suites and all these people running around saying, yes, 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 Kevin, that was important to me, right? Well, guess what? I made those mistakes. And I'm going to tell everybody here how to set up their infrastructure. And I've got some great advice on today's way of doing it. Because today, I run a business that does hundreds of millions of dollars a year with 15 people that in the old days took me 500 people to do this. So wow. I'm gonna talk about that. How to work smarter.
You scare me, Kevin. You scare me. You're like, oh man, am I getting too big? Am I growing too big?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's so that's important. And so I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about, as part of that, how you build the dream team so that you don't have to hire them, right? So I have a dream team. And they're not all employees. They're not all on payroll, right? Mm-hmm. I've got some legal guys that are on the dream team. I've got some public company guys because I'm involved in about 8 or 10 public companies that I own equity in. I'm on the board. And hey, I took a stock from $1 to $20 on one company. I had millions of shares. Like you got to have some experts around you when that stuff's happening, right? So I've got several public companies. One public company I'm involved with right now, we went from 10 cents to $3.50. That's a 35x. And by the way, they're right there in your backyard. So
yeah, and this is why somebody asked me yesterday, said, man, how did you decide on who you wanted? I said, man, I'm picking people that I want to listen to. See, because I don't know how to play that game yet. I got a buddy of mine just sold a business for $21 billion. It's him and one other person run this gig.
Wow.
So there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat, and Kevin's going to come in and talk to you about what he's doing right now. Kevin, what I'm going to do when you're done, okay, is I want to come up and do a Q&A with you to make sure we get the best questions from the audience.
Yes.
Because sometimes the audience doesn't know how to ask the question.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I want to be sure that me and you, because there's going to be so many different people in the room. Some people, a guy coming on after you, he's got a company that was just valued at $600 million. He's running with 230 employees.
Yeah.
The guy that comes in after him, he's doing 254 a year, and he's got about 400 employees.
Right.
Kevin's going to open with, hey, I got 6 people and I'm freaking crushing it. So I want everybody in the audience to hear all the different. I mean, do you think that's a good way to do this, or is it too much?
No, I think it's great because look, like you said, you're going to learn some things. I'm going to learn some things. The people that are speaking, they're all there because, you've put together a stellar team of speakers. I mean, you've got dozens. You're over 20 speakers now, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, this is who I have. I got Les Brown. You ever heard Les live?
Oh, I know Les real well. Absolutely.
Dude, Les is ridiculous. I mean, it's so good. It's like I want to go barn again, right? Like when Les starts ripping.
He can bring you from tears to laughter within 60 seconds.
Yeah, yeah. So I got Tim Grover. I don't know if you've ever heard Tim.
I know who he is, but I've never heard him actually.
Dude, Unbelievable. Okay. He wrote the book Relentless. I got Jay Abrahams. I know you know Jay.
I know Jay real well.
You know little man, Daymond.
Yeah. Daymond.
You know Jamie Shanks from LinkedIn?
Yes.
Okay. Tim Story that worked with Oprah.
I did an infomercial with Tim Story, believe it or not.
What a storyteller that dude is.
Oh yeah, he's amazing.
I don't know if you know this young kid, Russell Brunson, up and coming. Russell Brunson does webinars and ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels.
In his top 50.
Yeah. See, so I'm bringing him in because I don't understand the ClickFunnel thing.
He's amazing. No, I've known Russell for about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, you know everybody, man. That's why you are who you are, bro.
Listen, I'm working on it, but
Lewis House, you know Lewis House.
I know Lewis. Yeah.
You probably don't know this dude, Bobby Castro.
I don't.
With Bankers Healthcare. I'll get you a gig with him, by the way.
Okay,
his company was just valued at $600 million.
Okay.
A dude named Tom Cummings that's maybe 12 miles from where you are right now. His company did $250 million in sales last year, and he nets 50% of that.
Okay. Good. Wow.
Is that strong, dude? Guy was in prison when he was 18 years old.
Okay.
Chelsea Cross. You know Chelsea? She's a millennial.
I don't know her.
Okay. How about you know the name? This dude's awesome. Andy Frisilla.
No.
I'll get you a gig with Andy. I'll get you a gig with Andy. I'll get you a gig with Tom Cummings, and I guarantee I'll get you a gig with Bobby Castro. Hank Norman with Two Market Media. Jack and Telly does $1.5 billion. He runs all the Rick Case stores in Miami.
Okay.
2,000 employees, seven locations, 13 locations, 3 states.
Beautiful.
How about this, Roddy? You know Roddy Chong?
No.
Dude, he's a freaking violinist, bro.
Wow.
Yeah. How about Phantom of the Opera, man? My boy James Barber up in New York. He is the Phantom of the Opera.
Okay. So he's an entrepreneur.
And these guys are going to provide some entertainment. Of course, my hot wife, she's going to be there. You know, she'll give you a big hug. You guys can hug it out again.
Hey, that's great. Fantastic.
So let me ask you this, Kevin. And of course you're going to be there, dude, which I'm so excited about. You're one of the first people I called, by the way.
Yeah. You bet. I was in right away too. I'm glad the dates worked out.
Yeah. How can the audience prepare themselves to be a better audience when they get there, to take 10x away from this event rather than just what they paid? So
I would say this. I look at an event like this, that when I go up, when you go up, when Jay Abraham goes up, Jay is one of the greatest copywriters in the world. Probably the best, right? I've known Jay for 28 years. And so we all have certain things we're going to be talking about. So we all are problem solvers. And so what we need to know in order for us to solve the problem, we need to know what the problem is. So I think any entrepreneur that's coming there should make a list of the things that they need help. So what is it that, if you could walk out of here with an answer for this, with a better website, with a better funnel, a better headline, a better, look, some of these guys maybe need some great testimonials on their websites. And, people will come to me and say, hey, let's do a little Snapchat. Give me a little testimonial. So, hey, some of these things might just happen there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like to know if somebody's got a product and they want me to take a look at it, I want to see what problems does it solve? What's its unique positioning? Does it have a magical transformation? And I'm actually going to be talking about some of these things in my presentation, what to look for in a business or a product. So that's powerful, so come prepared. In other words, like when people, I have some people that I spend, like I call them face-to-face meetings. I give an hour to a couple people a month where I sit with them for 1 hour and dive deep on their business or their product. If they've got a product and they've got patent applications, I want to see the file. I want to show me the patent, show me the application, show me your website, show me all your assets, So put the assets together and then show me what you need, where are your shortcomings, and what problems can we help you solve. Come prepared to get your problem solved. That's what it's all about.
Dan Moore wants to know what thing you learned from your mistakes. I know this is a really wide open question, but.
So, look, I think the biggest thing that I learned back in the early days is I was a headstrong entrepreneur doing pretty well. I thought, man, I can do this myself. So when I went to hire a CFO, I said, you know what? I don't have a huge budget for a CFO. I didn't think, right? So I'm paying a CFO. My company, when it first started, we were only doing a few $1 million. And this is back in the 80s now. Okay. So I hired a CFO for 60 grand.
Yeah.
Now my auditors, my accounting firm said, boy, that's a little low. You don't get the real top-notch guys for 60 grand. And I said, oh, well, look, that's really all I can afford right now because, whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
And I should have listened to them so one day someone in my accounting department, my auditors came to me and said, what are you selling for $1,000? Because you're giving credits for $1,000 to dozens of people every month right now. And I said, we only sell $29 knife sets. What do you mean $1,000? Well, this person in accounting was issuing $1,000 credits to their friends and relatives.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a CFO that put any controls in place.
Right.
200 grand later, in credits that I never got back, I shortchanged myself by not getting the right people at the right price. A $200,000 CFO would have done a way better job than a $60,000 one. So,
or he'd have stole more. One of the two.
Yeah. So get the right people.
But Kevin, get the right people and pay them, right?
Exactly.
And pay them enough. That's why I tell people, look, don't go buy a 6-unit deal because it's not going to produce enough revenue that the manager's not going to steal from you. Like you can't pay him enough.
Right.
And that creates a problem for him.
Yes.
And like you said earlier, we're coming there to solve people's problems. When you go little, you end up with big problems.
Absolutely. So once we finally got the right people in, by the way, the right CFO was bringing me banks that were lending us money that we needed to grow the business. The other CFO, the banks were like, we can't lend you any money because you got this idiot in there, So, it's the right CFOs have banking relationships. They know how to talk to the banks. I got a $3 million line of credit when I got the right CFO in place.
Yeah, there you go. That you might not have had time to get on your own or didn't have the know-how.
Exactly. And
Folks,
it's back in the 80s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you're listening to Kevin Harrington. He's going to be in Miami with me March 17th. Okay. He's going to kick off our event. I cannot wait to have you there, Kevin. I really, really appreciate your time, your energy, your commitment to entrepreneurs, man. And I want to do more with you. Okay.
Super. Me too, buddy. We're in the same state, so we gotta keep hanging out.
Yeah, dude. We got to figure out how to, because I'm back and forth to Tampa all the time. So I need to get in on one of your penny stock deals.
Okay. Hey, next time I want to see your plane. I've seen pictures of it, so maybe we'll hang out one time and go for a little cruise or something.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank. He's going to be with me in Miami. Kevin, again, thank you so much. I appreciate it, buddy. Hey, Kevin, let me ask you real quick.
Man.
Yeah, what do you charge? What do you charge to look at people's copyrights, their patent pending, their websites, and start looking at and finding those weaknesses?
Listen, if I'm doing this as a business, because I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
For $2,500, I sit down for 1 hour and hang out with somebody and give them some great advice.
Dude, that's a steal, man.
It's a steal.
That's a steal, dude. I won't do it for $2,500. I'm like,
Yeah, it's tough. I only do about 4 of those a month because that's all the time that I've got.
Yeah.
But, so I try to be reasonable to help them out. And when they're done, they got a ton of value.
Dude, I could sell you some of those for 10 grand.
Yeah. Hey, let's do it.
Okay.
All right.
Because you're going to get a better quality person. I believe this. The more people pay, the more they get out of something.
I believe that too. Absolutely.
I don't even think you could I don't even think you could spend a whole hour with people. You overwhelm them.
In 30 minutes, we generally get pretty close to getting a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
we zero it right in.
Yeah, exactly.
We solve those problems and set up a marketing plan.
Yeah, it could happen in the first minute or two. Dude, you need to fix this one thing right here.
Sometimes you got it. Yeah.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Appreciate your generosity and your commitment. Me and you're going to do some other big things together. Okay. I'll see you March 17th. Folks, those of you that are watching right now, I hope you come down, commit to this thing. I'm telling you, it's going to be freaking great. If you could just learn from people's mistakes that have been before you, it will save you. What he just shared with you could save you millions of dollars, not picking the wrong person, not paying too little. Kevin, thanks again, buddy. I appreciate it.
Hey, Grant, see you in 3 weeks.
You got it, buddy. And thank you for watching today. Hope you enjoyed it. 10xgrowthcon.com is where you grab your ticket, folks. We're almost sold out. Okay. Go ahead and hook up today. Don't be scared, man. Let's grow up. Let's blow up.